The time is now 7:01. I'd like to call the Castle Hills Zoning Commission meeting to order and determine that a quorum is present. Present are Commissioners Pena, Baker, Herndon, Booth, and I am Chairman Rodriguez. In a little bit here, our attorney, Mr. Mark Schnall, has asked some items, but I'll get into that in just a minute. Just for the record, and in the most respectful way here, also too, I know on the 29th I had some concerns about the draft agenda that was sent to me by our city manager, Ryan there, and thank you very much. But I, again, asked the city manager, in looking at it, there was a reason for any disregard of prior motions, votes, and recommendations by the zoning commission, prior zoning commission meetings, just because they look very similar. And again, I'm just mentioning that for the record. I'm fully aware that the zoning commission makes recommendations. So where, matters, as an example, concerning the state's local government code and the governing body, I appreciate where they define the governing body. Respectfully, to all commissioners, Mr. Rappelai, Mr. Schnall, I am not the person to prepare or deliver presentations requested due to advice from my counsel. Also, as we get through the agendas here, and again, this is sample only, and each commissioner will decide as we go through the agenda this evening. Sample, I move to approve, not approve, take no action, table to when, a particular date, then could read an agenda item. Note, this is only a sample to hopefully avoid any stress or confusion. Each commissioner can decide on their own method. I'd like to now, the time is approximately 7:03, go to agenda item number 2. Consider approval of the November 5th, 2019 Zoning Commission meeting minutes. Again, this is the City of Castle Hills, February 4th, 2020, Zoning Commission meeting at 7 o'clock p.m. here at Castle Hills City Hall, City Council Chambers, 209 Lemonwood Drive, Castle Hills, Texas, 78213. I will just repeat again. Agenda item number 2, consider approval of the November 5, 2019 Zoning Commission meeting minutes.
I move to approve.
I second.
Got a first, got a second. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Agenda item number 3. The time is approximately 7:04 p.m. Consider approval of the December 3rd, 2019 Zoning Commission meeting minutes. If anybody has any comments, I've actually got a comment on that. There seems to be a problem if you look in your packet on the December 3rd, 2019. It says that it passed 5-1. That is incorrect. It passed 5-0. If I could ask, please, if that could be corrected. Really, the whole thing just needs to be shortened, just like when voting occurs, the normal one. With that exception, if I could ask, please, for that exception to be made, to correct, please. Any other comments?
I
I
move
might
to
be reading
approve.
this wrong. I'm getting 5-0 on the one. Oh, I see which one you're looking at. Number 2.
Yes, sir. Any other changes that anyone may see or would like to have any commentary in regards? We will accept a motion if someone would like to bring one forward.
I move to accept the zoning commission meeting minutes with the amendments you requested.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Booth. All in favor? Motion carries, motion approved. Thank you. After this agenda item 3, right now the time is approximately 7:07. Mr. Schnall had mentioned if we could go ahead and open, take that back, number 5 and number 6 at the same time. And I'm not going to read that right now, but I'll get to that. Is it okay with you then if we go ahead and go through number 4 then? Mr. Schnall?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
the order of the agenda.
All right. Agenda item number 4, the time is approximately 7:08 p.m. Agenda item number 4, public hearing on an amendment to section 50-497 of Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances to revise the provision regarding uses in the A single-family residence district not eligible for a special use permit.
May I ask who proposed this be put on the agenda?
The public hearing was a function of the fact that there was a request that the action item be considered by the zoning commission, and it's appropriate to have a public hearing on a proposed change in the text of the ordinance. Mr. Chairman, it would be appropriate to open the public hearing, see if anyone present wishes to speak at this time.
The public hearing is now open. I apologize, I thought I'd opened that at 7:08. Has anyone signed up? Mr. City Manager, thank you. Mr. Schnall, did you have any comments? I'm getting ready to.
If there's no one signed up and no one in the room who wishes to speak on this, on the public hearing, it'd be appropriate to close the public hearing. You can ask if anyone in the room wishes to speak at the public hearing. If no one seeks to speak, it would be appropriate to close the public hearing and move to the next agenda item.
Yep. Would anyone like to speak on the public hearing? All right. The public hearing will now be closed. The time is 7:10 p.m. Agenda item number 5, getting back to what Mr. Schnall had requested. We've got agenda item number 5 and agenda item number 6, which has an ending statement of consultation with attorney. Agenda item 5, right now the time is approximately 7:10 p.m. I'd like to open agenda item number 5, discussion and possible action on a recommendation to City Council on an amendment to Section 50-497 of Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances to revise the provision regarding uses in the A single-family residence district not eligible for a special use permit. Possible executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. Commissioners, this would be your time for open discussion. Mr. Schnall?
Mr. Chairman, I think it would be appropriate for the zoning commission to go into an executive session at this time. At that point, I can provide legal advice and answer questions of a legal nature related to this agenda item. If the chair and the commission are willing, you could open item number 6 so that we could have both executive sessions at the same time, and then return to the open session for the commission's discussion and possible action, and first on item 5 and then on item 6. If you'd rather do the item 5 executive session period, we can do that also, but it would be appropriate to do either both executive sessions now or just the item 5 executive session at the will of the commission.
Okay. At the request of our attorney, Mr. Schnall, what I'd like to do, I guess, with the commission's permission, to go ahead and open the next agenda item. Everybody's nodding yes. So, to honor that request, agenda item number 6, time is approximately 7:13 p.m. Opening up this agenda item also, discussion and possible action on the identification of the basis for the Zoning Commission's October 3rd, 2019 recommendation to the City Council concerning the Wayside Chapel Evangelical Free Church application for an amendment to an existing special use permit to add the property located at 113 Ivywood Circle. Possible executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. Commission, do you accept a motion to go into executive session?
I move we go into executive session if that's what's appropriate for me to make a
Second the motion.
Okay, I have a second. All in favor?
Mr. Rodriguez, if at this time you will announce that the zoning commission is going to an executive session at 7:13 p.m. on February 4, 2020. Needs to be on the record.
Yes. The City of Castle Hills Zoning Commission is going into executive session at approximately 7:15